When it comes to so as I mentioned, Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian came out and gave speeches that was unprecedented. Ghalibaf has going as far as saying that we need to go back. We need to end this situation that we're in because we're not going to be able to survive this. He also mentioned that um, militarily, yeah, it's good to have a strong military, but without the economy, without a good economy, people are going to basically starve, and we're not going to be able to have a military if we don't have a good economy. So basically, showing how devastating the situation is. Hemmati was out there saying similar stuff. Pezeshkian also. I'm not going to go into the details exactly what each one of them said. Khatami is out and saying similar stuff. Um, the fact that Khatami is back shows that they are desperate. Hassan Khomeini, the grandson of um, Ruhollah Khomeini, the first supreme leader and the founder of the Islamic Republic, is out, and he's technically a reformist, and so-called reformers, quote unquote reformers, and he suggested that we should go for peace by referring to um, Muhammad's peace with the Qurayshis, right? Basically saying that when Prophet Muhammad did peace with the Qurayshis, he managed to conquer them anyways in 2 years. So just because we go for peace, that doesn't mean that we're not going to conquer our enemies and defeat them anyways. Just like Muhammad. By the way, this is actually very important for people to see in America that the so-called reformers are trying to argue for peace by referring to the story of Muhammad, that when he got peace, he managed to buy time for 2 years to raise a giant army to then go conquer the people that he had peace with. Um, so this is very important for the Americans to see that the so-called moderates or reformers are suggesting peace is just a temporary pause before we go destroy our enemy. Um, but the fact that Khatami is out speaking, the fact that Hassan Khomeini is out and speaking shows that as much as we have a major mobilization on the pro-tension people, which are mostly Mohsen Rezai, Vahidi, and Abdullahi, we also are seeing major mobilization on the people on the other side, thinking that tension is not going to work because the Americans are too powerful and we're not going to be able to win this, and we need to go back to the negotiating table and end all of this. And there's a major mobilization there happening as well. All the arguments that they're making, though, is really hard to get the jihadi people who are traditionally pro-regime to agree to that. It's a really tough pill for them to swallow. So I think these people are trying to appeal to the anti-regime people by showing that they are that the people who are for tension, that they're going to push a country off of a cliff, right? So I think the strategy of the people on the other camp, which is the Ghalibafs, the Pezeshkians, the Khatamis, and eventually I think it will be also the Rouhanis and Zarif, that we can't bring them in completely in yet because they have been used as scapegoat for so long that they're too hated by the pro-regime people. But I think that the economic situation might get so desperate that Zarif and Rouhani would be brought in again to as well to make these arguments. I think if I was the Ghalibaf camp, I would basically make this try to send this message out, right? And I know for many Iranians this won't work, but it's worth the effort. I would try to get the anti-regime pro-Pahlavi people to make them feel like they have to work with me, right? Like, yeah, I know you hate me. I know I'm part of the Islamic Republic, but these jihadis on the other side, they're going to bring the whole country to war, and we're all going to go down anyways. Is going to be this economic devastation because of this isolation. I know you guys might like America and stuff, but we can't tolerate this and you can't tolerate this. So let us save you from these jihadi type people that are going to basically make the whole country go to shit. Because you came out in the streets, we killed the tens of thousands of you, and you tried to bring Pahlavi back, but that didn't work out. Okay, but and we might be here for years. We might be in this situation for years under this economic isolation, and your lives are going to get more and more and more miserable. And at least we say we are willing to submit to the Americans and ease up the economic tension, to bring some much needed economic relief to the country. That is what they're gonna. I think they're gonna try to appeal to many people who are anti-regime, but maybe have less hope that there is a chance to topple the Islamic Republic. Because from some people's perspective, they're hoping is that they thought that the death of the Khamenei would bring about a quick end of the regime, and because it didn't do that, maybe this might not work out with the way you guys wanted to. So at least help us get us to a place where these jihadi people are not, these full-on jihadi people are not in power. Again, I'm not saying any of that is right or true. Obviously, these all of these people, as you heard from Hassan Khomeini's speech, at the end of the day, want to go back to destroying America and Israel and all of that garbage. But this is the propaganda that I would push for if I was that camp. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, Armin John. I mean, I suppose I wanted just one other aspect to be cleared up, and that's regarding what the response of the Iranian public would be if this were to become a viable deal that were to be made between the U.S. and Iran, the U.S. and the regime. Sorry.
So I don't see a path to any viable deal between the United States and the regime. Even if they magically somehow manage to get to a deal that they actually sit down and sign, it would be a temporary deal that the Islamic Republic would eventually violate, right? So I don't see any
Mhm.
path to a viable deal. But I do know that from at least from the people we know, is, I mean, when you say the Iranian people, we have to, you know, be careful who exactly are we talking about, right? But the impression I have is that the vast majority of the Iranian people um, do not like any mention of a deal. Like, even if we don't get a deal, the fact that the United States is still even attempting to negotiate with these people, the fact that the deal is still on the table, the fact that, agreements, negotiations, talking, the fact that there's even a channel, a line of communication between the United States and the Islamic Republic, really angers them and really makes them feel like maybe the United States doesn't understand the Islamic Republic. There are many people within Iran that think that Israel understands the Islamic Republic and United States doesn't. There are also some people on the other camp that think like, no, the United States obviously, like President Trump obviously does understand the Islamic Republic, and this is all just for game. It's a show. It's a 5D chess. But there is also people who think like, yep, nope, these people, Trump fell for the same trick that Obama and Biden fell for, right? So they're like, okay, apparently these mullahs know how to fool Americans every single time. They make it seem like they're worth talking to and negotiating with, and even Trump fell for that. Some Iranians, and that's why some Iranians say that the only, again, not all, many Iranians are very, very pro-Trump, but some Iranians think like the only two things we could trust is Pahlavi and Israel.
That makes complete sense, Armin John. Thank you very, very much. As always, you've answered my question beautifully.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.